turn into another neighborhood, but he's continuing eastbound. McKinley, where's he going? Still going eastbound through the neighborhoods. Coming up to another major. Through the major. Clovis. There we go. Clovis keeping it up. Coming up to another major. Come on, go south, go south, go south, go south. Come on, come on, you can do it. Come on, make a right turn. Oh, he made a left. Northbound on Central, but he's going back the other way. Whoa, wrong side of the road. Going back up to 103rd. Central. Coming back up to Century. This is such a tough one to follow. A stolen vehicle, you can see it right there. But this is one of those ones where LAPD has gotten together with all the helicopters, and it's in the Bravo. And when I say Bravo, a lot of people are like, what does that mean besides B? It's airspace. So we're not allowed to go in there with the officers to actually chase it. So we're actually paralleling it on the 105 freeway using the end of the lens, and I'm listening to them call out the pursuit. You can see it right there, making another northbound turn, making it more difficult from us. And you can see it going away from us. And so this is how we're going to be handling it for right now. But the Sheriff's Department's been chasing this vehicle for probably a good 30 minutes or so. They had 3 occupants in that vehicle. 2 of them had gotten out at one point. Sheriff's Department made an effort to take them into custody. I got to work with Jeff here. Can we go to the west just a little bit, just to the west a little bit? And, you know, so they had those other suspects jump out. And as soon as I said that, he looks like he made another right turn, so we got to go back to the east again. This is how difficult it is. It's like we're using the end of the lens, trying to follow along, coming out to another major here. There you go. You see him going right through there. But the Sheriff's Department had the ability to do the pit maneuver if this vehicle would slow down enough or get into a situation where they could safely do it. You can see these speeds. This southbound Holmes from 9-2, so he's somewhere right over here. I can see him in the trees. But that's what we're dealing with right now. We're chasing a stolen vehicle, and we are definitely going to be in the South Los Angeles area. And you can see it right there. It's continuing on out here. The Sheriff's Department are handling it. And it's high speeds, small neighborhoods, tight streets for the most part. Very, very dangerous. Westbound. No. Yeah. It is really moving along at a good clip down there. And, you know, the Sheriff's Department, they're tasked with bringing this to an end safely. They were away from it for a while, which in my book is more dangerous to the public, especially when those suspects are driving at those high speeds. You know, when at least you have those lights and sirens going on, running a red light right there northbound. We're going to be actually on Graham right there. But, you know, when they're going at those high speeds, no regard to anybody on the, as far as the public goes, you know, those lights and sirens, they help. They help. At least people hear them, gets them to go, hey, what's going on here? And then they can make their decisions, or at least they're aware that something is happening. Major intersection right there and red light, and we've seen him run. A lot of them made another right turn right there. He's back on Firestone Boulevard and continuing off to the west. But, you know, these
right now just to keep with it. Believe me, I am at my wit's end here trying to get the best pictures as possible. I'm listening to the scanner, trying to listen to you guys as well, and trying to keep an eye on where this pursuit is at any given time.
The concern, of course, is always people have no idea this is going on. They happen to be crossing the street, walking their dog, I don't know, trying to get into a car. You see cars are parked alongside the street there, and them getting hurt. It's always about the innocent victims who sometimes pay the consequences.
You know what? That is always my biggest fear. Whenever these pursuits, especially high speeds, or even when they're not high speeds, when they come up to, I'm listening to the officers, when I hear the words solid red, and I don't see that car slowing down, my blood runs cold because I am so afraid that he's going to collide with just some innocent person, doing their business, going to work, going to pick up their kids, doing whatever they do on a daily basis, and then you have this person running these red lights at high speeds. Now making another northbound turn right there. We're back up onto Anzac. Anzac is the name of the street right there, and continuing northbound. I hear the desk and the producers asking to put up the map. I'm going to make an effort to. I just don't think the streets are going to be accurate because we're at the end of the lens, and it's just going to create a little bit more confusion. You can see right there he's making his way back eastbound again. That's basically for my pilot Jeff, as he's doing the same thing. He's just kind of looking at our picture, and we're just kind of sliding back and forth out here on the 105 freeway. And believe me, we're not alone out here. So Jeff is doing a great job keeping us safe. But this pursuit continuing out here, and we're basically in the Graham Florence area in residential neighborhoods, and making its way. It looks like we're heading more out to the west again. So let's see if we can get another shot. Hopefully he takes a southbound turn here eventually. But at this moment right now, because of other helicopters in the area, we're a little bit limited on what we can do.
I was going to ask you, Stu, and the crew up in Skyfox, what the situation is like up in the air, because it is such a condensed area. We're trying to find and pinpoint that car and follow him, and obviously you see all the trees and all the residential homes and apartment buildings. It's so difficult what you're trying to do right now to make sure you get a handle on this guy and keep your eyes on the suspect right there as he turns again right onto a street that's so hard for you to see and manage.
Yeah, covered by trees, and then you can see these major intersections right there when he's heading towards us. I can tell you, Jeff is half his attention, maybe a little less, is with me, which is fantastic. Believe me, that's the way I want it, because we have other aircraft that are basically maybe doing the same thing we are. I don't want to give away any secrets, but we're all kind of doing the same thing out here. Jeff is trying to coordinate with them, and we're all kind of just trying to stay safe out there.
Little peak shots between some trees right there, and you can see the turn. Whoa, he changed his mind. He would have, if I wouldn't have waited for those officers, I wouldn't have seen him make that turn. But it's, we make these jokes, we play around. It is a little bit, we understand the dangers that are going on out here, but my concern is always with the officers, always with the civilians that are out there. And, law enforcement, I've said it in the past, I'll say it 100 times because it is the truth. They are concerned also about that suspect's safety. They don't want to see anybody get hurt. They don't want to see any crashes at all. And, their job is to keep the public safe.
So unconfirmed reports that there's possibly 3 people in this vehicle. We haven't really gotten close enough to make sense of that at all, but possibly up to 3 people in this vehicle.
Well, the last thing that we heard was that, I'm trying to find 99th Street.
Okay,
and back on Anzac. I got to find Anzac. But, I can address that as I'm looking around here. That they had 3 people inside that vehicle, but they had a couple of them actually get out of that car earlier on. So I believe right now it is just going to be the driver inside that vehicle.
Did we see that happen, Stu, or is that just reports we received?
No, that happened before we actually got here. That was happening before we actually got here. I'm trying to find Anzac again. There it is. I was way off. So he's somewhere in this area right here, but.
Yeah, again, you have such a difficult job, Stu, and Pilot Jeff Gergel, thank you so much for staying on top of this as we continue to look for that stolen vehicle suspect with the pursuit underway in South LA. Let's take a break now, and we'll have much more after this break.
Yeah, I can't find him. Westbound 88th. Passing Elm. Elm. Where the heck is Elm? Peach. Where the heck is he? Okay, Bandera. There it is. Oh, thank goodness. All right, just park here for a second. Thank you, Jeff. Whoop, whoop. Oh, thank goodness. He stays. At least he's getting closer to us. Hey, I'm sorry. I had the scanner way up. What's up? Sure. Minute 20, copy all. A lot can happen in a minute 20 in a pursuit. He's running out of road. He's going to have to make a turn on Century. He is heading back out to the west. There he goes. Back out to the west. Nobody's over it. Who's over it? Nobody. Oh, they're up high. Okay. They're up high east of Alameda. Approaching success. Where'd he go? 30 seconds. There he goes. Yep, got him. I'd say he's going a little faster than 45. Copy. Major intersection. He's in an alley. Back on the Central. Well, they keep saying that he slowed with any law enforcement about anything. It's always yes sir, yes ma'am, but they're saying he's going about 45 miles an hour. I would venture to say he's going a little faster than that, especially at some points in this driving. Making his way northbound now, and we're going to be northbound on Hooper, and you can see that vehicle continuing at a high speed, taking that center aisle in right there, passing some of the other vehicles. Now, the law enforcement, you can see them, they've opted to back off. They're telling their troops down there to back off, turn off the lights and sirens, back off. So the helicopter's staying over it. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult, especially for us to keep an eye on it, because I don't have those law enforcement lights and sirens to keep an eye on it. I just saw him made a turn right there. We're going to try to keep track of him, but I got to turn up another radio to hear the radio calls. But it actually sounds like they just gave it up. They've just told even the helicopter. They've said, you know what? It's a stolen vehicle. It's not worth this putting the public in danger and the other lives in danger. So they have literally just called it off.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, and you know what? It's up to them to make the best call, what's best for the community and for the safety of the public. And in this case, as you mentioned, maybe they can find other ways to get back that stolen vehicle, especially if they have more intelligence than us, obviously, to know maybe perhaps who that driver is or the circumstances around it. Maybe they know that the suspect is unarmed or not a threat otherwise. There are definitely ways to recover a stolen vehicle after the fact, so maybe a pursuit isn't the best way to go.
Right, and also...
Well, you know what?
You can...
those are... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's getting so busy down there, too. You know, there's a lot of traffic. I feel as though I'm also seeing some pedestrians here and there. So maybe this is the best case scenario for the meantime.
You know, the safety to the public is always the biggest concern. How they handle these things, you know what? This is a roundtable discussion that probably could be a great podcast or something we could talk about for hours. But in the end, it is the law enforcement and the guy that is a guy or gal that's making the calls at the office, telling the troops on the ground what to do, and that's how it works. And right now, they basically have just washed their hands of it and let it go. Hopefully, they have taken those other two into custody. And they can get some information from there. I'm Stu and Skyfox. Back to you all in the studio.
All right. Well, appreciate you and the crew up there for doing all of that. It was hard to keep up. There were moments it got really intense. All right, we're going to move on. We have other news to get to. So more problems for Boeing's 737 MAX 9 airplanes.
Yes, earlier this week, a door flew off during an Alaska Airlines flight, and now other airlines have found problems with their versions of the aircraft. Coco McAvoy is live in Burbank with the details. Coco?
Good morning. The question this morning is